and Kate Mann and Mark Dudrow. So without further ado, let's get our first performers up here. So come on up. The performers are going to be up here for anywhere from 11 minutes to 22 minutes. You're going to get a good variety of all sorts of stuff. Comedy, storytelling, music. And look at these guys. They're all ready to go. Hey, I got to tell you about them. All right, so Jacob and James Quartet. All right, father-son quartet.
Close enough.
Hey, they actually won the Santa Fe Bluesgrass and Old Time Music Festival band contest. So they're going to be really good. Give it up. Cool. And then they also have, let's see, we got Jacob Haggerty on mandolin, and we got James Haggerty, the son, on the guitar. And then we got Kate Warman on the fiddle, and Bob Pace on the bass. Bob Pace on the bass. Did you change your name just because you play bass, or what? Bob Bass. All right. So enough of me. Let's hear it from these guys. Give them a hand.
We'd like to thank everyone who makes this possible. We're having a great time already, and we haven't even begun. We do what's called genre hopping, and so we're going to hop around all over the scale here tonight. But we're not going to talk much more because we're on a tight schedule. Take it away. Ready? You changed it? All right. Never mind. Thank you. That's called Muddy Road. I wanna tell you, I wanna tell you how you see how hard the words ought to come. You make me wonder, make me look inside the mirror to see whatever could be done. So I sit here in the light, and all I'm saying simply falls to pieces. I wanna hear you, just a whisper to be near you, just to see if there is something more to learn. To look inside you, past the mist that tries to hide you from a world where there is nowhere left to turn. So I sit here in the light, and all my phrases simply fall to pieces. So I sit here in the light, and all I'm saying simply falls to pieces. I wanna touch you, just a word to barely touch you. Now you see how hard the whole damn thing becomes. I wanna see you, just a look to let me see what's on your mind and where this feeling's coming from. And so I sit here in the light and watch my expectations fall to pieces. I wanna tell you, I wanna tell you, how you see how hard the words are to come. Thank you. Now? called the Raccoon Reel, Jacob. I hear you go wandering up to the Northlands, through Georgia and on to the sea. Well, I've got a letter I'd like you to carry and hand it to Maggie for me. Carry this letter to Maggie, my love. I finished it so long ago. The lines are all broken, I've no means to travel. Clouds seem to keep rolling in, but I couldn't leave even if I were younger. I wish I could see her again. I'll carry this letter to Maggie for me. I finished it so long ago. The crops are all weak and water is angry, but things will get better, I know. And if you can find her, just mention I miss her, and everything's ready to go. I'll carry this letter to Maggie for me. I finished it so long ago. And if she is able and willing to come to me, and if she is able and willing to come to me, and if she is able and willing to come to me. Thank you. Thank you. That's called Jordan. That's one of Jacob's songs. He stood and pointed to the tower. That's where all the secrets lie, hidden deep inside. Will you violate it? Will you try to make it in tonight? The others who have passed this way before were never heard from anymore. Is this trial worth the bother? Should I risk my life and steed? Honor is so fleeting, fame so self-defeating, and there's no one waiting for me. We stood upon the bloody highway, the stones beneath our feet, drinking at our heat. The sun retreating, the night comes creeping from the east. Is it too late to turn back now? And who would notice anyhow? Is this trial worth the bother? Should I risk my life and steed? Honor is so fleeting, fame so self-defeating, and there's no one waiting for me. I slice the door, the splinters fly. I crash the gate, I gain inside. Angels dancing in the flames, I hear them laughing, crying out my Father's name. They've known for years that no one likes to take the blame. Listen to their lies, slowly hypnotize. Stop, I'll take it all, now let me by. These stairs go climbing on forever, never reach the end, no more time to spend. We can beat you, we can drag you down and beat you till you bend. This sounds like something heard before. I can't remember anymore. Is this trial worth the bother? Have I risked my life and steed? Honor is so fleeting, fame so self-defeating, and there's no one waiting for me. I grab my cape, let loose the rail. I take the plunge and start to sail. The torchlight seems to fade away, and in the distance just a shadow can be made. Deeper in this darkness will I ever find my way. Nowhere left to go, body feels so slow. nothing left to see and none to know. He stood and pointed to the tower. That's where all the secrets lie, hidden deep inside. Will you violate it? Will you try to make it in tonight? Thank you all so much.
Hey, I think you guys really did win. Jacob, I think you did really win that Santa Fe Bluegrass and Old Time Music Fest. Yeah, buddy. Woo. Hey, I was back there dancing because I'm really shy, so I don't dance in front of people. I was dancing back there. Yeah, it was like, it was really nice. Thanks, Bob, on the bass. All right, so Jacob, James, Bob, and Kate, thank you again. That was wonderful music. Thanks. So I realized a couple things. I have lots of great friends here tonight. I'm very grateful for that. And then I also realized I was looking at my notes back there, and I forgot to introduce the most important person in this place tonight. And who is that? Todd Lewis. No, it's this guy. I didn't even tell you who I am. Okay. Who's the most important person in this room then? Eric Ulrichsen, of course, our sound man. Give it up for Eric. Eric, he's the sound man and the, what did you call yourself? The stage manager. He's both. So he works his butt off. Thank you, Eric. Hey, so if you haven't noticed, there's 2 cameras tonight. That's because this event is streamed live. So people all over the world are watching us right now. So don't do anything you wouldn't want China to see, or your mom or your dad. And we have an amazing videographer back there. We have Kiki Shakti right there in the corner. Give her a hand. And in the back, we have David Mansfield. Thank you both for making this possible. And this is also available on the Taos Live website afterwards. Great video that's produced, so you can check it out and look at me more if you'd like. I'll be online. Thanks, Todd. Ophelia, come on over. All right, so here we have Ophelia. Interesting thing about Ophelia, here's how Taos works. I met Ophelia about a week ago after she'd been in Taos for only 2 weeks. And she's here, 3 weeks or so, and she's already got a gig.
4 weeks today.
4 weeks today. So Taos either, they say the mountain either takes you in or kicks you out. I don't believe that. I think you make your own, you either make it happen or you don't. But she's made it happen for herself. She's in Taos, and hopefully she's here to stay. So a little bit about her. She's a student, teacher, facilitator, practitioner of energy medicine, esoteric sciences, intuitive and psychic realms, and creative visionary of multiple arts. She weaves and reveals patterns, dimensions, and possible reasons to help others understand their life experiences, as well as her own life experiences. So she's got a story to tell you. Money, power, sex, and death. Money, power, sex, and death. I like some of those things. All right, Ophelia, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, I'm giving it to Ophelia. Let's give it up. Give Ophelia a big hand.
Thank you. Thank you. And Ophelia is my real name. My father was playing in Hamlet with Peter Finch in a small repertory company in Sydney, and when I was born, they were playing Hamlet. So that's how I ended up with this name. So Money, power, sex, and death. They are the storylines of everything that happens in life. Everything that happens to us, no matter what, where, how, and why, has a thread through those topics. I never intended to even think about those subjects in the manner that was given to me. A little history. Storytelling is the primal place where we tell our stories of our past and where we're going. It's been the oldest art on earth. And here in Taos, it is done through the medium of art, of video and film, of the cultures, and it's an amazing place. And so it's interesting that this is evolving. To give you a little background, I wrote a 2-hour theater production on money, power, sex, and death. But I'm going to take you back because that's the product of the end product, the beginning product. The beginning is the journey. And I was in Mount Shasta, Northern California, living in a very comfortable house for about a year. And one day, I got a bug. It's like, you're to leave. I didn't want to, but I knew I had to. I went up on the mountain to camp for maybe 2 or 3 days. That's what I thought. I get a little tent. The tent was tiny because I was just going to go for 2 or 3 days. I set up my place at about 6,500 feet up on top of this beautiful 14,000-foot mountain. The first night, I was wakened from a deep sleep by this noise and rattling and rummaging, and it's like, okay, I'm not gonna move. The next morning, I realized it was a bear. It was about 20 feet from my tent. And the message was, do you stay or do you go? I stayed. The next night, okay, I'm in a deep sleep again. Bang, 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 bang. It sounded like 4 or 5 10-year-old boys playing around, going, what on earth is going on? I lay there terrified, going, I can't handle this. This is ridiculous. Why am I here? It was a test, obviously. And the test was shown that night by 2 young bucks that were playing just around my tent. A couple of nights went by, and I thought, okay, I'm leaving. But no, I didn't leave. 7 weeks later, I was still in a tent. The only familiar part of me at that point was my pearls. I was known as the woman who camped in pearls. But what happened during those nights and those days is I'd walk and the storylines would come and they would come. And it was like I was having these massive awakenings. But I had to go back through my life. And one topic was, where have I been? And it was 2 suitcases. And if you had to put your life into 2 suitcases, what would it be? And it's like, oh my God. So I went back through my life and I realized, oh my gosh, my life really has begun and ended so many times with literally or metaphorically 2 suitcases. It's about letting go, gathering, taking on, and then letting go. And then taking on and letting go. I didn't realize it until that moment in the woods up on the mountain. And then the messages were coming over days and days. After some very bizarre flying helicopters in the pitch black of nothingness, the UFOs of Mount Shasta, strange happenings up there. What happened was then I was shown what power is. And of course, money, power, sex, and death would make us all go, yeah, because they bring up the worst parts of us. They make us put us into fear. And what I was being shown is to turn those words around and to have us like use money as letting go and taking on and letting go and taking on, as that money is about material obligations, neutralize evolving yourself. Oh, I get it. And so then the power, and what's power? And I went back through the stories of my time and my life and the good times, and when I stood in my power and when I gave my power away. And then I realized that that's about the potential of wonder engaging a regalness. And when we do step into our power, in those moments, there's an emanation of majesty that comes through us. And it's like, yeah, that's what power is. Whether it be a person, or whether it be a state, a country, a government, our earth, if we can go back into the power of the majesty of who we are, then we can change our world. Well, days went by, and I was writing, and I'm going, why am I still here? Why am I still here? And then I had to go back through my relationships, my marriages, the good, the bad, the special moments of what was gathering inside of me and how I was evolving and getting older and going, oh my God, my body's falling apart. But realizing what was gained was the wisdom. As it was falling apart, I was gaining wisdom. And it was about sex. Well, it's not the act of sex, but what is sex? Sex is the music, the art, the dance, the touching, the feeling, the hearing, and it's the senses that provide this ecstasy of sex. So sex became senses engaging ecstasy, and I'm going, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And then I hit the last one, which is the most powerful and the most terrifying of all, death. Nobody wants to talk about death. No one wants to feel it, see it, touch it, feel anything. And yet I was taken back into a week of my life in 2003 in Florida. And the week ended up being one of the most powerful experiences of my life. And it started off with the urge for chocolate. And anybody who loves chocolate, when you get that urge, you got to go and get chocolate. Doesn't matter who you are. Chocolate, yes. It's like, who is it? Juliette Binoche, Johnny Depp, chocolat. Oh my gosh, that is the senses of chocolate. So I had a friend of us, she was a student of mine, and I was near the beach, so we walked along the beach and around, and there's something happening, and it's like, what on earth? And that night was the beginning of a week of amazing things, because the chocolate led to finding a man who just died, or not just, he'd actually been dead for about 45 minutes, but no one had done anything. And then it was this surreal, amazing, holographic experience of what happened that night. And then as we were going back to my place late, walking along the beach, we turned the corner, and Laurie and I were just sort of in this deep meditative state, like, oh, what on earth happened to us? We're in another world. And we turned the corner, and there's this sound splashing into the water. And on the sand, there is the imprint of a large mother turtle who has just laid her eggs. And it was like, oh. I was being shown that night the fragility of our experiences of life and death and rebirth and all of those things that come together, and how everything that we do is connected, and everything we are is the power of every memory and every cell that we've done and gone through this time and all past times. So through the 7 weeks, I wrote and I wrote and I wrote, but I had no idea the end result was this theater production. I have never forgotten those perspectives, because death, I didn't tell you, death is not about death. Death is about dramatic events activating the heart. That's what happens when something like that is in our lives. And so whenever I hear the words and the events around those 4 topics. My perspective has changed. I step back and I look and I go, yeah, I've changed because of the perspectives. And because of that, my world can change. And that's how we changed our world. One person at a time, one perspective at a time, and multiple stories over and over, and everybody threading them. So tell your stories. You've got amazing things that have happened, even if you don't think they are, because it's a legacy for the life that we look back on and we move towards. Sat Nam.
I feel so calm and relaxed. So you reminded me, telling stories, right? Sex.
Yeah. I was going to wear my sarong tonight.
Well, and I don't think I told you. Did I tell you
No?
my story
You
about
didn't?
sex? So
No, you
okay.
didn't. Tell me your story about sex.
So it's quick.
Okay.
Okay. Last night I had a threesome.
Really?
Yeah, I had a threesome. A couple people didn't show up, but I had a good time.
Isn't that amazing? We always like to hear that.
Hey, I had a good time. That's all I got to say. The other
There's
few
a bit of
missed out.
ecstasy.
They missed out. Thank you, Ophelia.
You're
It's great to
welcome.
have you
Thank
on
you.
stage. Oh, the projector's down. Look at this. What does this mean? Oh, I need my clipboard because I don't have this memorized. So now we're going to have a turd talk. Who's heard of a turd talk? Who's heard of a TED Talk? Yeah. So I'm hoping that this is going to be just as inspiring as a TED Talk. So who's doing this? I want to give a big introduction to Danny Kovacs. Danny Kovacs is a multi-talented theater and film professional with only 1 degree of separation from Kevin Bacon. Yeah. Locally, he has been seen on stage with Working Class Theater and at Comedy Night with Johnny Long and Ken McNamara. Yeah, give it up for Ken. Mr. Kovacs also wrote episode 3 of the Guerrilla Romance series for Teatro Serpiente, and he teaches an ongoing Wednesday night acting class at the Sundance Center for the Performing Arts on Reed Street in Taos. And his website is theactorscraft.com, and then in parentheses it says theactorscraft, and it's spelled out .com, in case you're wondering. All right, let's give it up for Danny and his turd talk.
What if? What if we could recapture the power and the mystery of the past and somehow reconnect it with the future? Slide. What if we could embrace our ancestral heritage, and instead of putting it in a box in a museum, we could integrate it into the present in a meaningful way? Slide. A little boy finds an arrowhead in his backyard, and he brings it to his mother, and he shows it to her with great excitement, and she explains to him the story of the Indians in the past and how they lived in the teepees, and they would chip the little stones, and they would then attach them to a stick, and then they'd put a little feather on the back, and they'd use it to kill the buffalo. Slide. So this little boy puts the arrowhead in a box, along with some pennies and some old marbles, and it sits there for about 10 years. Slide. And then one day, as a teenager, he's making a transistor radio from directions that he found in a book at the library. And while looking for a conductor of just the right size, he comes upon what else but the arrowhead in the box, and he puts it between two transistors, and sure enough, the radio comes alive just in time to hear Michael Jackson sing Thriller on KFRC for the very first time. Well, that little boy was me. I'm Johnny Bonanno, and I have an AA degree in anthropology from San Bernardino City College and a certificate in transportation technology from Online University of Las Vegas. And I'm really excited to be here today in Taos. I was sponsored today, invited by a Taos resident, though, who must remain anonymous of his own request. But suffice it to say, he was once a high-level employee of the United States Defense Department. And his first name is the same as that of a famous duck. Slide. I have the pleasure today of making a very special announcement of a historic archaeological find of enormous consequence, and also an opportunity to solve a long-time problem that the residents of Taos have been struggling with for years. And many of you, in fact, struggled with this issue just today or yesterday. First, the archaeological find. And hold on to your seats, folks. This is pretty exciting. Slide. A network of ancient kivas has been discovered throughout Taos. These underground Native American ceremonial chambers were discovered by workers from Kit Carson Electric during a recent blackout. And there have now been 18 kivas discovered throughout Taos. They're connected by a network of secret tunnels. And the town council recently met behind closed doors in order to decide what to do with these ancient relics, as many of them are buried beneath well-established businesses in Taos. And of course, the main concern is the preservation of these historic sites. Well, as fate would have it, the very next thing on the agenda at that meeting was the discussion of the growing traffic problem in Taos. Slide. Recent studies show that mechanical failure of cars while driving through Taos is on the rise. And statistics show that 95% of the people who break down in Taos eventually move here. And on top of that, add the thousands of skiers during the winter and then the occasional rock concert in Kit Carson Park, and we have just traffic problems all throughout the year. So we simply propose to expand these underground tunnels into a network that will create an underground transit system and use the kivas as train stations, creating the integrated transportation system for Taos and the world's first archaeological scenic subway, allowing tourists and residents alike to enjoy these archaeological relics and at the same time mitigate the traffic problem in Taos. Now, there will be two main trains per our proposal, divided into a scenic line and a main transportation line. They'll be known as the Taos Integrated Transit System and the Archaeological Scenic Subway. Slide. Now, here's a simplified map of the subway system. The subway openings will be authentic, low profile, and inexpensive to build and maintain in keeping with the spirit of Taos. And coming up next, I have a few artist renderings. And thank you, by the way, to Dustin Sweet for his work on these renderings. They will show the existing, Dustin has a lot of fans here, I know. They'll show the existing locations of the kivas and what it'll look like after the excavation is complete. Slide. 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 And we've already considered having a special Java line to connect all the 13 coffee shops in Taos. Slide. 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 And we do propose to extend the northbound train to the old blinking light. Slide. And then south here to the Taos Mesa Brewery. Slide. And eventually we'd like to extend it to the Taos Airport as part of the new airport renovation. Well, but let's be realistic. It'll take cooperation and hard work to achieve this dream. Slide. But I would like to invite you all to join me in this exciting cause and share in the dream of a little boy who found an arrowhead and turned it into a transistor radio. Taos, this is your transistor radio. Thank you.
Danny for mayor. Danny for mayor. Oh, wait, we just had an election. We do have a Dan, though, that's mayor. Maybe Danny can propose this to the new mayor, and we'll see what happens. The tits and ass plan, that'll go over real well. Awesome. That was really fun. I got a lot out of that. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? So, what was I going to say next? Totally forgot. Oh, yeah, I never introduced myself in the beginning. You guys been curious, wondering who I am? No. No response. Okay, forget it. Hey, let's talk about these guys. So this is Mark and Kate. Kate Mann and Mark Dundro. They're amazing musicians in Taos. And what's most amazing about these guys is they play with anyone and everyone in the Taos area. It's really cool in more ways than one. They play with everyone and anyone. But I think it's just amazing as a musician that there's this connection, this communication that happens. And these two are a prime example of what that looks like. And they're getting geared up to go. Hey, in the meantime, I told an adult joke earlier. Do you want a kid's joke? Kid's joke? Okay, what do you call a pile of kittens? Rick, you steal my thunder. A meowton. Where do cows go on a date? Movies. Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, what do you call a bunny musician? A hip hopster.
It's pretty good. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Okay. How do you get a drummer off your front porch? Pay him for the pizza. Nice. Okay, so are you guys set? Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Mark and Kate, and they're going to start off with something special, right? Aren't you? Aren't you guys?
Yeah. On this note.
Would you like to say a few words, Mark, for your birthday on Monday? This is Mark's birthday weekend. He's celebrating his Tuesday, close enough. He's celebrating his 50th.
Half century strong, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Sweet. Good to see you, Mark. Happy birthday. Thanks for the birthday tune.
Sure.
Thank you.
Right on.
Needles and pins, it just doesn't fit in. No matter which way I try to rearrange, the lines are so fleeting, it's like catching ghosts in a net full of holes. One flies away and another one takes its place, haunting my consciousness, haunting my consciousness. Where is my paper and pen? I will draw them a map of where to begin. This'll make sense in the end. This'll make sense when it's finished, it always does. This'll make sense in the end. This'll make sense in the end. I caught a bullet in my weathered hand. The silver shines in the sun. Where is the blood? It's not what you would expect based on experience there on the screen. It's hot like the embers we left burning bright in the fire, unattended that day. You walked away and I went for a swim, dodging the bullets like waves. The fire burned the trees to the ground. The fire burned the trees to the ground. But with no one to witness, did it really happen? The fire burned the trees to the ground. Try to be patient, I wait for the light, but waiting just doesn't make sense. The Rain Man, he took it a little too far. Nothing is coming as far as my eyes can see. Nothing is coming as far as my eyes can see. Needles and pins, where do I begin when everything seems so strange? Thank you. This stage feels so big with just the two of us. We usually have people on either side of us when we play here, so we'll just do our best to be big, the two of us. Ay, qué bonito es volar a las 2 de la mañana. A las 2 de la mañana. Y ay, qué bonito es volar, ay, mamá. Volar y dejarse caer en los brazos de tu hermana, en los brazos de tu hermana. Y hasta quisiera llorar. Me gana la bruja, me lleva a su casa, me vuelve maceta y una cabaza. Me gana la bruja, me lleva a cerrito, me siento en sus piernas, me da de besitos. Ay, dígame, dígame, dígame usted, ¿cuántos pitoritas ha chupado usted? Ninguna, 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 no ve que ando en pretensiones de chuparme a usted. Y ahora, si maldita bruja, ya te chupaste a mi hijo. Ya te chupaste a mi hijo. Y ahora, si maldita bruja, y ahora le vas a chupar y a tu marido el ombligo, y a tu marido el ombligo, y ahora le vas a chupar. Me gana la bruja, me lleva a su casa, me vuelve maceta y una cabaza. Me gana la bruja, me lleva el cerrito, me siento en sus piernas, me da de besitos. Ay, dígame, dígame, dígame usted, ¿cuántos pitoritas ha chupado usted? Ninguna, 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 no ve que ando en pretensiones de chuparme a usted.
Órale.
I didn't write that song, but I wrote this one. I have come here seeking fortune because seeking is my nature. I'm one who wanders in the darkness. In spite of all the danger, I know someone's on my side, even if that someone is a stranger. I can feel it in my blood. I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it in the air. I can feel I'm not alone. I know I'm one of the lucky ones to have a place that feels so much like home. And the sun still rises every day, even though he had to go away. I'm probably not so far behind, but then again, who am I to say? I have come here empty-handed, but I offer up my heart. I believe in new beginnings, but I'm not sure where to start. Why do some things come together when other things can't help but fall apart? I assure you my intentions were nothing if not good, but maybe I forgot to mention, or maybe you misunderstood. I left a trail for you to follow, but you went wandering off into the woods. And the sun still rises every day, even when the clouds get in the way. There's not much I know for certain, but it seems safe to say the sun still rises every day. The sun still rises every day. Thank you. This next one might be kind of a sing-along for people of a certain age.
Yeah, you might know this. Probably have never heard it in this instrumentation unless you've heard us do it.
Ooh, my little pretty one, my pretty one, when you gonna give me some time, Sharona? Ooh, you make my motor run, gonna coming off of the line. such a dirty mind. I always get it up for the touch of the younger kind. My, 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 Sharona. My, Sharona. Will you, close enough to look in my eyes? Sharona, keeping it a mystery gets to me, running down the length of my thighs. Sharona, never gonna stop, get it up, such a dirty mind. I always get it up for the touch of the younger kind. My, 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 Sharona. My, Sharona. Give it to me, give it to me. Is it just a matter of time, Sharona? Is it just a destiny, or is it just a game in my mind, Sharona? Never gonna stop, get it up, such a dirty mind. I always get it up for the touch of the younger kind. My, Sharona. My, Sharona. My, Sharona. My, Sharona. Thanks a lot. We have one more song for you.
I know some of you on the cameras probably can't see the view that we have of Taos Mountain there, but it's you're gonna have to come visit. No, just kidding.
You pack up your belongings, make a deal with the devil. You don't think it's on the level, but you can't stay here. You go slow around the corners and you travel in the shadows as your mind starts to unravel and your body fills with fear. There's a rattlesnake on the road, man down there's collecting tolls. Bridge washed out 10 years ago, there's a rattlesnake on the road. You cover up your footprints and you try to move in silence. You grow weary of the violence, but you can't chase it away. You try to read the stars just like the travelers before you, but they all seem to ignore you. No one hears a word you say. There's a rattlesnake on the road, man down there's collecting tolls. Bridge washed out 10 years ago, there's a rattlesnake on the road. You never meant to wind up here. You only acted out of fear. What happened isn't really clear, but you keep on moving, keep on moving. The crickets and the coyotes are the soundtrack to your slumber. As your dreams they pull you under and the darkness holds you down. The sun on the horizon is an innocent reminder that it's time to put your boots on, got to move to higher ground. There's a rattlesnake on the road, man down there's collecting tolls. Bridge washed out 10 years ago, there's a rattlesnake on the road. Rattlesnake on the road, man down there's collecting tolls. Bridge washed out 10 years ago, there's a rattlesnake on the road. Thank you.
We're done.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Yeah, all right, we're gonna do one more.
Or help me. I can't think. I just can't think. So tell me what.
Or bar fight.
Or just leave out the bad word.
Or just do it.
No. I don't want to do
Robert
this.
Jones.
Kids. No.
Eric, I could use a little less guitar, please.
I think that's part of the problem.
We could do Dylan. We could do Dylan too. What do you think?
Do you want a song about roosters or an original song about a bar fight?
This bar is pretty full to sing the bar fight song.
All right, we'll go for the original,
Roosters fighting in bars. That's yeah.
which is the bar fight song.
We just like to point out right now that Kate is a real animal lover.
Oh, and this is the G-rated version of the bar fight song, because I think there's kids in here.
Oh, you're gonna play the bar fight song. Let's do the bar fight song.
It was a dark and stormy night, and he was itching for a fight. He started up his El Camino, and he headed down the road. He hadn't driven very far when he came upon a bar. The neon lights are burning bright, reflecting in the snow. I should mention he was on the run, and so he always packed a gun. He didn't use it very often, it was mostly just for show. But I wouldn't want to be the man who was too blind to see. He was a time bomb, tick, 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 always ready to explode. Well, he walked into the bar and he sat down on a stool. The bartender said, "Hello, son, what can I get for you? I'll take a shot of bourbon, please. In fact, you better make it two. Judging from this rowdy crowd, I got some catching up to do." Well, the bourbon went down easy, not the finest, reddest wine. He walked across the barroom looking for a sign. Then he fell down on his knees. Someone had pushed him from behind. Hey, mother, that woman you're looking at, everybody knows she's mine. Close enough to see the glimmer in his eye. He stood up nice and slow and he let down a little sigh. He said the moon is full and the stars are twinkling way up in the sky. Congratulations, friend, you picked the perfect day to die. Well, if it's all the same, I'd rather not describe what happened next. But I'm sorry for whoever had to clean up all the mess. The El Camino was last seen by some old guy in Texas. He's probably headed south to Mexico or someplace way out west. Thank you.
All right, Cade and Mark.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you. Aren't they amazing?
Thanks, Jake.
Woo. All right, thank you both. So is it really anybody's birthday? Like today? It is? David! Come on up, get your birthday thing. What are these called? Mark left. All right, so since Mark left, we have to sing happy birthday to David, right? Okay. And today is the day. Here, put this on. All right, 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Louder. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, give it up for David. Thanks for being here on your birthday, man. Yep. So on that note, everybody raise a glass. We need to give a big thanks to the Mesa Brewery for allowing this to happen here, and for Dan for his insight and help with getting this whole Taos Live started. So thank you, Mesa Brewery. Awesome. And damn good beer, too. I'll tell you what. Couple other thanks. We have to thank our performers and our artists, right? Give it up for them. Because obviously you stuck around, so they must have been halfway decent, right? The sound guy, don't forget the sound guy again, Eric Ulrichsen, and the stage manager. Thank you, Eric. And we have some production assistants, too, real quick. Aeon Saltzgraver, Atir Cederlof, Francis Santistevan, and Jay Econom as production assistants. They're scattered throughout the building, so give them a round of applause, too. A production like this takes lots of people, so takes a village to raise a child. And don't forget about me, the MC. Yeah, oh, finally, I get the credit I deserve. All right, okay, a few more things. Stick around because Ritmo Soul is playing next. Latin feel, guitar fueled. So great performance for you. This show is happening again May 31st. May 31st. Not having one in April, taking a break. May 31st, same time, same place. We're looking for performers. So if you are interested in getting up here and showing your talent, contact James Cederlof. You can get a hold of him at taoslive.net or tymelyproductions.com. And I will leave you with this. Are you ready for this? Everybody needs to hear this. This is important. If you enjoyed the time you wasted, it wasn't wasted time. That's deep. Till next time, thank you all for being here. Good night.
He stood and pointed to the tower. That's where all the secrets lie, hidden deep inside. Will you violate it? Will you try to make it in tonight? The others who have passed this way before were never heard from anymore. Is this trial worth the bother? Should I risk my life and steal? Honor is so fleeting, fame so self-defeating, and there's no one waiting for me. We stood upon the bloody highway, the stones beneath our feet, drinking at our heat. The sun retreated, the night comes creeping from the east.